This is Case from Q101. This is a Case for, a show in which I have coerced management and letting me talk to my favorite bands. And we sit here at the Vic Theater tonight, closing out Q101's Twisted Christmas 2024. And I am joined in a fancy leather chair in the bottom of the Vic with none other than Modson. How are you, my friend?
Greatest day of my entire life, man.
Greatest day, number one?
Absolutely.
Give me a Mount Rushmore. What are your 4 greatest days?
Oh, man. The last 4 days of my life. That's how I live every day, man. I live every day like if I woke up, it's the greatest day.
That is absolutely incredible. I'm glad you woke up. I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad I woke up, too.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Welcome back to Chicago.
Thank you, man.
Last night, you played a show in Milwaukee with Andrew McMahon. I saw your Instagram story. You poured your heart out. What did it mean playing a show with Andrew McMahon?
Well, you hope for many full circle moments in your life, you know? But when you get them, you got to celebrate them. Like, Andrew McMahon to me is something corporate, 16 years old, sitting at my mom's piano, learning how to play Kavanaugh Park on piano, and literally in my head pretending that I wrote the song, you know? It was really that, like, life-changing. I mean, there's a lyric in it. I don't know if this is on air, but there's a swear word in this.
No, say it. Go ahead.
Well, he says, man, that kid made fucking up look cool. I was, like, up to that point. At, like, 16 years old was when my life took a turn, and I was at the crossroads. I was, like, I grew up in Minnesota, so I played hockey. My mom put me in sports to make friends. So, like, I was a really good hockey player, bro.
Really?
I was a goalie. Like, I was slated to go pro. Real talk. And at 16 years old, I had found music, and I was getting into music, you know, like found Travis Barker, started playing drums, all that kind of stuff. And words really started to hit me around 16 years old. And when I found all the bands on Drive-Thru Records, like The Starting Line, Newfound Glory, and specifically Something Corporate, that was when I made that, like, change in my life. Was freshman year where I was like, I'm quitting sports. I'm becoming a musician. This is my dream. This is what I'm going to do. And, yeah, last night he was sound checking, and I was like, it's so funny. This is the story that he told, because not only did he play the song I asked him to play, but he dedicated it to me. But this is what he said. So at sound check, I like made sure to get there for his sound check. And I'm standing in the room at the rave, giant ballroom, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, standing like this and like dancing around. And so what he said before the song is he's like, so I saw this guy down while I was sound checking, and I thought he was making fun of me. And then he came up to me after my sound check, and he was like, hey man, Kavanaugh Park like changed my life. And he's like, really? He's like, maybe I'll play it tonight. And so he added it to the set for me. And then before he played it, he literally told that story and dedicated the song to me. And it was just a moment that took me back to being, like I said, 16 years old, sitting at my mom's piano. And it's just like a reminder that, like, there's magic working in this world. There's more than just, you know, waking up and going through the 24 hours of a day. It's like there is magic going on. And sometimes it might take the better portion of almost 3 decades for it to come around. But I didn't give up. I didn't quit. I pursued my dream. And last night was one of those things where it was like, dude, you did what you said you were going to do at 16 years old.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah. I mean, I cried for 3.5 minutes while he played the song.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, I really did.
Rightfully so. Who are the other people? Because you've lived this incredible, hectic, just prosperous career at this point. Who are the other people that you've been on a show with or been at a festival with, and you bump into them and you go like, oh my God, pinch me, I'm screaming. I'm in the same room as so-and-so right now. I
mean, Newfound Glory, making music with Travis Barker, the Starting Line, like the bands that I've witnessed, that I all mentioned, like I have become, gym class heroes, like becoming friends with Travis McCoy. I was literally just texting with him before we sat down, but it's like gym class heroes was one of the reasons I started rapping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all of that, like I have, I wrote a book in 2011. And one of the chapters was Inspire Inspirations. And it was like, make that a goal that one day you could try to inspire your inspirations, and being able to like be in the same room or play shows with them or make music with them and them see something in me. It's like, I believe in that. Whether or not those things ever come true, whether or not any of these people have ever been inspired by any of the things I do, what I can inspire people on is what happened when I sat down and you said, how are you doing today? It's the greatest day of my life. That's inspiring to people because life is hard, man.
It is.
Life is hard.
Yeah.
But
as 50 Cent once said, death got to be easy because life is hard.
There you go. Shout out 50.
Shout out 50. Not enough people say that on Q101. Shout out 50 Cent.
But that's why I'm here. That's why I've been able to make it to where I am is because, you know what? God bless any of these people if my music has touched them. But one thing that I have is I have energy. When I enter the room, I am able to, try to leave that room better than the way I found it.
I think that's incredibly inspiring. Well done to you. As a live performer, you have this incredible reputation of when Modson comes to your town, he's going to burn it to the ground. He's going to leave it, hectic, absolutely wild. You're going to put on this amazing show. I wanted to talk about you as a fan of music, going to shows real quick.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you were in a mosh pit? What show was that?
First mosh pit would maybe, because I was a real pop punk kid.
Yes.
But then when the Used came along, that was probably, I'll never forget sitting on a 6 stair with my skateboard and downloading like Box Full of Sharp Objects, and that was like the first song. I had heard like, from first to last, like sprinkled in a little bit of the screaming, but kept it enough for me to not like, I was never a full like screaming kid, The Used hit me hard though. And so definitely probably going to the Used, and here was the lineup. It was the Used, and I believe My Chemical Romance played first that night. No one knew who the they were. Okay. And watching My Chemical Romance, and it was that kind of show. So maybe that would be like the first mosh pit I was ever in, and I would say that was 9th grade probably.
That's the perfect time to be at that show.
2001, 2002.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is good stuff.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then down the line, I ended up playing drums in a band called Four Letter Lie. I played drums in a band called Scary Kids Scaring Kids. I was signed to a label called Victory Records that was right here in Chicago. And I, got inundated with the like heavy and hardcore. I mean, the reason we got signed to Victory Records was through a relationship with a band called Dead to Fall. Okay. Which is like metal as fuck.
Yeah,
music.
absolutely.
So I was in the scene of like mosh pits and metal and heavy music and breakdowns and all that. So, I mean, like seeing Bleeding Through with like real like hardcore kids, you know what I'm saying? Straight edge hardcore kids.
Right
like
here.
Yeah,
Right here.
Yeah. So like all that, man.
Good. Well, we'll keep bouncing around because, when I think about you, I interview a lot of bands, and a lot of them have the same stories, they have the same experiences, because I talk to a lot of hardcore bands, so it's all kind of in this one scene. You have experienced something that no other band I have talked to has, and I want to talk to you about this now.
Ooh.
You did an episode of MTV's Ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that experience. It is, of course, the greatest show of all time.
Yeah.
Rob Dydrek is the best.
Whether or not you like it, you're going to watch it.
It's going to be on.
It's pretty much all MTV plays. If you watch any syndicated actual television anymore, you'll find Ridiculousness on at any hour of the
That's
day.
right. So how was that experience? What was it like
Dude.
taping an episode of Ridiculousness?
Well, okay, let's just like start from like the like seeds of it. Like,
Let's do it.
Dude, Rob Dydrek changed skateboarding.
100%.
And changed it by not, a lot. I have a lot in common with him because I don't look at skill and talent as the top of the totem pole for me. Okay, I look at like charisma and energy as the top, right? Because everything that happens under that is like, to me, a side effect of like having that it thing, or that like being able to like have people be able to feel you behind a lens or in person, like that kind of thing. Rob Dydrek was never trying to be the illest skateboarder of all time. What that dude was doing was being like, I'm going to turn this into full entertainment.
That's right. The DC video when he brought in Big Black.
When he brought in Big Black. And like, you're like, this guy with like Chad Muska was one of my other favorite skateboarders. Another guy who was like an entertainer more. He was a great skater.
Yeah.
So was Rob
Dydrek.
But these guys are not PJ Ladd and like Rodney Mullen and shit like that when it comes to like,
I love. Can we talk skateboarding all day? I love
Yeah.
you. Let's talk PJ Ladd all day.
Bro,
My God.
PJ Ladd's Wonderful Horrible Life.
Game
Dude,
changer.
Okay, I was actually talking about this 2 days ago with with the guitar player in my band. He's like, what's your favorite skate videos of all time? Dude, Cream Team, Ice Cream skate video.
Oh, yeah.
Change the whole
The
game.
Ice Cream Team is just one of those deals where it's like it's hard to explain to somebody now if you don't know. It's just
No,
like
bro, no.
they were wearing-
If you
yeah.
didn't catch it when it happened, you missed it completely. It was like the first people skating in $350 shoes and $600 hoodies, and you were like, "Oh my God, skateboarding's high fashion." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
There was a few things that made the world go, "Oh, skateboarding's cool," because I grew up in a time where literally people would yell out their window "dirty" and throw things at you if you're skateboarding. That's where I grew up. It was not an Olympic sport. It was no X Games yet, even. Like, it was literally like so outlawed to be a skateboarder.
Yeah.
And you were looked at like less than if you were a skater.
Yeah.
You know? So like, dude, so yeah, we could talk skateboarding all day long, but like, dude, the ice cream skate video, to this day, I watched it the other day and it's still the coolest thing ever, bro. Like,
It's a level of cool that I will never be. I can't aspire to be.
Yeah.
I can just look at it in
Man,
awe
throw
and
a
go,
Bape hoodie on, bro. You never know what'll happen, bro. You never know.
It's just something that I'm not, but man, do I appreciate it from a distance.
Yeah. I mean, bro, but PJ Ladd, when it comes to like actual being a skater, he was one of the coolest styles of skateboarding I ever saw. Like, you know, Mike Vallely was like a great example of like a skater that like added his own. He was like dancing with the skateboard, like for real, like doing different things. And then you had someone who was like taking like what Mike Vallely did, but like adding bits of like Rodney Mullen and technicality, but making it so swag and so styled out the way he was sliding and shit. It was crazy. It was crazy.
It's great. Who's your favorite skateboarder of all time?
Oh, I mean, I might say, like, I'll probably have to say Muska, bro, because like, you know, Muska, like when you, there was this clip of Muska like skating. I don't know if maybe it was a 411 like little clip of Muska, but it was like a day in the life of Chad Muska, and it was when he was like bombing. He was just like bombing Hollywood Boulevard.
Okay, yeah,
and then he would like go to his hotel and he set up his laptop and started making beats on Reason.
Yes.
That I downloaded Reason after watching that. Right, and started making beats.
And you know, there's tens of thousands of kids in America who do the same thing. They were like, "Oh, I'm gonna be Chad Muska now. This is my life."
Got the big boombox, put a backpack on while you skated, started sagging your pants, put the pants with the ties at the bottom, and put them up to the ear.
I'm gonna get a shorty shirt. I'm gonna get circus shoes. I'm Chad Muska now.
We're in beaters and baggy pants, bro. Like for real. Like Muska changed the game. Another person that I ended up down the line being like friends with, and like I did a shoe with Supra, and like you know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, like that's the whole thing. Is like I put my eyes on those people and be like, I'm gonna work as hard as I can to be around them, and then try to have something that'll make them never forget me. You know.
I love that, and you did that with your Ridiculousness episode.
So
Let's
back
get
to Ridiculousness.
Yes.
Just pulling up and hanging out with Rob Dydrek was awesome. Like I was just like, dude, you like I'm one of the people that like didn't see you when you had a show on MTV. I saw you way before that. And those things mean something to people that are in that position. When you know like the roots more than just the tree that grew and everyone else saw, that like that shit like resonates. When someone comes up to me and they're like, yo, a song you dropped in 2009 like changed the game for me. I'm like, bro, thank you. Like that means so much more than you knowing my biggest song.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I'm saying? So it was like, you know, able to give him his flowers like that. Like me and Chanel are friends. And then it's just like, dude, it's just really funny because like it is a skill to be improv and on the spot. So you know it was a little like nerve-wracking obviously, but I was able to add like my mod son into it and like give some like cool positivity along with the jokes, you know, because I do have a pretty good sense of humor, I'm not gonna lie. But you know it was just awesome, bro. It's one of those things where it's like, dude, I grew up watching that. It's like attending the VMA awards, you know, like I sat in my mom's basement, I'm gonna be there one day, you know, and then you're there one day and you're like, oh my god, this is insane. And it's like same thing with Ridiculousness. It's like I watch this all the time being like, I don't even know if I set my sights big enough to be like, I'm going to be on it one day, but like being like, I'm going to hang out with Rob Dydrek one day, you know? So it's just like another, bro, it's all about these full circle moments for me, honestly. And that was another one of them, bro. It was funny. It was nerve wracking. The dude is hilarious. Like he's really good at what he does. And yeah, bro, it was a good one. And like, you know what the best part was is like, they kind of started doing it more recently, probably within like the last like 4 years of that show, where like the guests that they have on, they like tailor the things to the guest. So like I kind of forgot about that, or maybe didn't even know they were doing that. And then it would be like, this segment's called Karma. You know what I'm saying? Or this segment's called Internet Killed the Rock Star. And then like do a video based on it. And I was like, holy shit, bro, you know who I am.
Yo, these guys are good.
like you did your research. You probably did it 20 minutes before you walked on, but you did it.
They did the research though.
I was like, hey, not bad, man. Yeah.
I love that. I'm so glad you've graced us in Chicago once again. I love the energy. Before we go, I do have to ask the question that everybody wants to know, which is when are we getting a new Monson album?
Dude, right before summertime, man. There's some cool things going on in summertime that I'm gonna be a part of. I'm gonna tailor a tour around some of these cool things I'm doing in the summertime, and like you know what's great about this new album is that for the last year and a half, like it's at the start of a year and a half ago, there was no vision coming to me. There was nothing telling me what to do. I've done so much different kinds of music, from doing, like I said, 10 years as a drummer in multiple different kinds of bands, from pop punk to hardcore to screamo to post-hardcore, all that, to then doing 10 years of rap music, making what I called hippie hop, which was really positive rap music. And that was a niche thing. It was so niche that it allowed me to get out of my hometown and like, quote unquote, make it.
Yeah.
You know, if I was just making regular, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say regular. If I was just making rap music that was like of the time, like I don't think anything would have happened for me. I would have been one of many. And it's like, because I was doing something so niche, I was able to find my own lane, right? And then, you know, doing 10 years of like very alternative music and you know, like heartbreak music and music that like to me was like my ode to like a dashboard confessional, where it's like I have a belting register. And I know that's a gift because I know many really good singers who cannot belt without losing their fucking voice immediately, right? So like doing music like that, and over the last like year and a half, you know, I finally was just like, you know what, I want to make like just this period of time, I'm just gonna make the album that I always wanted to make, whether it does anything or not. And my favorite artist of all time is Bob Dylan. I'm a Minnesota boy. Bob Dylan, you know, everyone said he can't sing. Cool. Everyone told me I couldn't sing. Great. Got something in common with you. I'm all about words. His whole thing was all about words. And I was just making an album that was kind of like that. It was me and a guitar and a harmonica for a lot of these songs over the last year. And I made like 40 of them, and the great songs. I went on this last tour, and you know, careers get hot and cold, and I've built up a community that whether I'm hot or cold at the time, my kids show up. And you know, I played a lot of this old, I did like a medley at the end of my set where I played like 12 old songs, really old songs. Some of them were 15 years old, you know, and these kids just went crazy. And it was the message that was in it, this happiness, positivity, enjoy your life, celebrate. If you woke up, you got a reason to celebrate. Yeah, I'm fit. So I came back from this tour, and I was like, how can I bring that message of that music into the style of music, this footprint that I have in alternative music? And I went home from this tour, and within the last month, I cracked the code. And I'm making this very, like, if I had to sum it up, the sound of this, like, next music that's coming, it sounds like a cult of really happy people in a field shouting and playing real instruments. It's like bohemian and like it's still so alternative, you know? It's like we don't have an MGMT right now. We don't have a Foster, you know? Yeah, we don't have Fitz and the Tantrum. We don't have that kind of music like happening. We don't have an Edward Sharp right now, you know?
Yeah.
Like we still have them.
Yeah.
But we don't have like what's that sound like right now?
Yeah, the next generation
right?
of it, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's my sweet spot, bro. The world needs happy, celebrate your life music right now more than ever.
I love that. I think you're bringing that to the people. I can't wait for the new record. Modson, thank you so much.
Yeah.
A pleasure as always. I'm on Instagram @_Case Lowe. New episodes of A Case For every Monday on Q101's YouTube channel. Listen to this man's music. Follow him on social media.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Seriously, my song is on the radio right now. This is the craziest time of my life. Hotel Lights. I love you very much. Yeah.